I'm very excited. I don't know why. So,
Oh, good. That's
um,
good.
so I was talking to my best friend and we were talking about I wanted to do something out of the box and something new. And so I said, how about a podcast? And my best friend is the first guest on the podcast. And I gave her three choices of names and we chose, well, she finalized it, the name of Vintage Queen. And so
Was it vintage queen or vintage gay?
Vintage Gay, or what should it be? Vintage Queen or Vintage Gay?
I like vintage gay.
Okay, so here we go. Hey, hey, you're gay. Aging is a privilege. So, welcome to Vintage Gay.
Thank you.
I looked up vintage and it said vintage is of age and value.
Yes.
And then it said old, but having enduring appeal or important,
Right.
a classic.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think getting old is a privilege. So I am very excited about still being here. I mean, you and I made it through AIDS and all kinds of things, and we're here.
Yeah.
So I'm in my vintage and celebration and my age positivity era, I
I
guess.
love it. I mean, I think it's just about wisdom. It's also about enjoyment. I think when I was younger, I didn't appreciate how much I really had already as myself. I thought I needed more.
Yeah.
I always needed something else that would make it better, make my life better, make me better. But really, I don't need any of those things.
I Googled you and I know everything about you. It says an American stand-up comedian, actress, musician, and activist, through which she critiques social and political problems, especially regarding race and sexuality for the people.
I
That's
like
what
that.
I
I think
heard.
that's true. I mean, I think that's very true. I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
And then also, this is the two things that I highlighted because I loved. It says at age 15, she worked as a phone sex operator and later worked as a dominatrix. After graduating from high school, Cho attended San Francisco State University studying drama. She did not graduate.
No,
So
I
what
did
I'm
not.
hearing is smart, sexy, and a dropout, but an
Right.
entrepreneur.
It's all true. Yeah. I'm not suited for dominatrix work. It's that's actually to me, it's like being a psychiatrist or being a very skilled therapist. Dominatrixes, they're really highly skilled workers. You know, it's a very taxing job. So they deserve the big bucks.
I could be a stripper.
Yeah, I could be a stripper. Any kind of sex work is probably you're a combination of all these things. You know, you're a therapist, but also you're an essential worker to some degree. You know, because you're in there in their body. But there's so much psychology that goes into sex work as well that I think it's a highly skilled labor.
What was your first I made it moment?
I think my first I made it moment was probably doing television. I did television pretty early on. I was on a show called The Half Hour Comedy Hour. This was in the 80s. And it was in San Francisco when I still lived there. It was really fantastic. And I was so just excited by the cameras and the lights and the people. And I had a silk scarf that I wrapped around my head after the show that was encircled in paillettes. That's what they call it, paillettes. They were huge, like quarter size. And they were like clanging against each other against my face. And I felt so glamorous. I really felt like, oh, I had done something great.
What was your first splurge or big purchase?
You know, I've not really made that many big purchases. I'm not really a huge shopper in that regard.
You have a beautiful house.
Thank you. Well, maybe my house would be the first big purchase, but I just don't really love to spend money. Well, the way I spend money is I like to spend money on experiences,
Mhm.
like restaurants, like we go, or travel. And I have a lot of good fashion and stuff, but none of that stuff is particularly expensive. I have a Chanel 2.5, was 2.55, one of those. To me, it's like so expensive. I don't know why I have it, maybe to sell at some point, but it's mostly because it's something that I think my mom would really like, you know? So I think, oh, I bought that because I think, oh, my parents would sort of look at that as a symbol of success. but I
We
don't really do
cleaned
it.
out your closet. We found that old Gautier too with the straps. That's really gorgeous.
Oh yeah, the Gautier dress, it was worn, not that particular dress, but the same dress was worn by Madonna very famously topless in a fashion show. And it was so fabulous. So I have that dress. I'm actually planning on wearing it because this year I'm part of the Out 100, which is
Oh,
Out Magazine's 100. And they're doing a very fabulous red carpet. So I think I'm actually going to dig that out. And I'm not sure, I might do a pasty with it. We'll see how it goes.
oh, I love it. I might have some pasties in my kit if you need them. You played over 100 characters. What was your favorite character? And you played yourself 8 times since 2008.
Oh, that's
After
good.
being on Hacks. So in
Yes.
2008, you had all now you were showing up playing yourself.
I love playing myself. To me, that's the easiest because then you're just you and then you don't have to do that much work for it. I like playing Kim Jong Il. That was a lot of fun. That was for 30 Rock.
What about
I
Face Off?
Oh, Face Off. Yeah, I like playing cops. I'm actually playing a cop in the new Greg Araki movie
Oh,
called I Want Your Sex. So I do love playing a cop because there's just something so butch about it. There's something very grounded. For me, it's a lot of fun make believe. The majority, actually, of the roles I've played is cop.
what about Charlene and It's My Party?
Oh, that's a good one too. She was not a cop, but she had very big hair. I had a lot of hair then, and they teased it up like a Winona Judd, huge hair. It was a big confection of hair. I love that movie. It doesn't get a lot of attention. It's a
If you could
really
tell the
great.
young gays something about that movie,
It's My Party is a really special film, and it's a true story about a man who is dying of AIDS, and he decides to self-exit. And before he does that, he has a huge party to celebrate his life. So I love that he's celebrating his life while he's still alive. It's like a funeral where you're still alive. I think that's really beautiful. It was Roddy McDowall's last film. Roddy McDowall's in it. Also, Olivia Newton-John is in it. It stars Eric Roberts and Gregory Harrison as the lovers, and it was written and directed by Randall Kleiser, who is the boyfriend who survived. So his boyfriend had a party where he committed suicide at the end. So Randall is the boyfriend who survives, and he tells the story. But it's a really beautiful film about AIDS and the resilience of the gay community during AIDS.
you just made my heart smile. Like I just love that. I love that it exists. I
Mhm.
love that people will be able to see how far we've come.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like we have prep now. You and I, this
Well,
was
yeah.
never.
People don't understand how deadly the disease of AIDS was. There's really not really any art that completely conveys the devastation of the time. I think there are certain things that come close, like there's a wonderful series called It's a Sin, which is all about people dying of AIDS, the early part of it. In the 80s. It's really beautiful. It was really, really, really well done. But relatively few things really capture the absolute agony of the time period. And I think it's because we sort of collectively don't remember it. There weren't enough mainstream or any gay artists at the time talking about it. I mean, there were a lot of people on the outskirts sort of talking about it, but gay culture wasn't as mainstream as it is now. So we didn't have the actual cultural relics from the time because our limited view of culture was so heteronormative.
Tell the young people what a AIDS test was like back then, how long we had to wait, and
I think you would get it and then you would have to wait.
was
It
it
was
2 weeks?
it was like about 2 weeks and it was like a torturous
Yes.
time to wait because your life just hung in the balance, and there was a fear and this thing of like you would also try to psych yourself out and say, maybe I already have it.
Yeah.
It was almost like, oh, well, if I already have it, then I would be in this other club of people who all had it. And then there was this sense of doom and denial around it. And a lot of people just opted not to get tested because they just didn't want to know, which was so painful too. So it's just hard. It was a really hard time.
I think I got mine, and I think in my head I planned my funeral. Like,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, I think that I was like, "Ooh, I got goosebumps." I was like, okay, I have it. And uh, like I didn't know anything, because when
Hmm.
I was 13 years old and coming out and going through puberty, it said on the newspaper, wrath of God on gay people, AIDS. Like I was so afraid. And so I didn't come out till I was 22. And I remember like there was such misinformation that when I got my first test, I was so afraid. And
Hmm.
I think I did plan okay, I have it, or I could have it, and what am I like? Life is over. Who do I say goodbye? It was
Yeah.
really scary, and you had to wait, like you said, wait 2 weeks, and it was a roller coaster of just like emotion of,
Hmm.
and I think it came in the mail.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then I remember after when I stopped drinking and doing drugs, I remember that test.
Hmm.
That was so scary.
Hmm.
That was a really scary one.
But we just like automatically default to like immediate like disaster of like, oh, this is happening, we're gonna die, and it's like such a sad thing. I think every case was sort of different. You would either get it in the mail if you were negative, and they would call you if you were positive. They would call
Oh
you and
yeah.
you have to come in if you're positive. It was always varied and dependent on where you were getting tested. But it was something that was just so huge and so scary. So it was just a lot to deal with. And also, like, just the homophobia in general in the 80s and the 90s, or just the invisibility. We just didn't see ourselves in any capacity.
Yeah.
So
And
it
like
was
they
really
say now, they
scary.
say, don't say gay. I was like, girl, like I don't have to say anything. Like I go to
Uh-huh.
the grocery store and they're like, gay. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, bitch, the gig is up yesterday, or not yesterday, a while ago. Someone said something. I think I got called faggot. And I was like, I know. And I turned around and I was like, what tipped you off?
I mean,
Like a
God.
purse or like the two t-shirts sewn together like a moo like what?
Yeah. That's
They were
crazy that it would
very
have that would happen.
vintage, girl, vintage.
Vintage homophobia, which unfortunately is kind of back. Like there's so much of homophobia, especially in this election year, so much anti-gay rhetoric out there. I don't know what they think they're accomplishing with that.
And it's scary too. Like, did you see the rollout of all the people all dressed with masks and things coming out of a U-Haul like before a gay pride like that? I,
Yeah, the
whoa.
patriotic front. Coming to attack a gay pride, like that stuff is so nightmarish to me, where people are so emboldened to just be their Nazi self. That's like a really shocking thing where people are not ashamed of their homophobia. They're not ashamed of their racism. They're not ashamed of their fascism. It's really crazy.
I know you're very humble, and I'm going to say something about you as that I think is just so wonderful is that I asked you about the comics for Kamala, and you said you went, and you said I am going to try and do at least one thing a week for this because I think we need this. And I
Hmm.
was just like, that's who you are. Like you're like, I'll show up. Like I think you were the one at the Underground Railroad for the gays with the flashlight. I'm all, follow her. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
think you were that girl. I have sat with you when you were the Grand Marshal for Gay Pride, and it was in the middle of Asian hate. It was in the middle of gay hate. It was right after the pandemic, and it wasn't the West Hollywood one. It was the Hollywood one where we were outside of our zone. And
Hmm.
so we were unprotected in a way. And you
Hmm.
got in that car and just showed up with all of the things that are going on in the world. And I was like, I love you. I got goosebumps because you
Hmm.
show up with that
Oh,
flashlight for the
yeah.
homos. And then I asked you what your favorite part was of the parade, and you said when we passed by the people that had the burn in hell sign.
Oh, well, I love you. And that was great. When we were in the parade and the car went by, all of the people that were shouting and screaming, you're going to go to hell and repent and all their like craziness. Like, bitch, you're just as much a part of this parade as everybody else. Like, you're here too. You are here too. You're a part of
With
this. Like,
banners.
with banners and celebrating our gay pride. It wouldn't be a parade without you. It's like so funny when they think they're raining on a parade or they're somehow bringing like a negative aspect. No, they're not. They're like making it better, like you're bringing the spice in this. It's so crazy though. Like, I don't know why anybody would do that, but I think it's because they want to go to the parade and they don't know how else to show up, or they don't know how else to make it okay for themselves
Girl,
to
they
be
showed up in
around.
a gown with a sign. In a
Yeah.
gown.
And their gay Jesus gowns. It's great. I love it.
So what are the one thing a week you're doing to be involved in the election and the change?
Well, I've been doing about one Zoom, like kind of big mass Zoom event a week. I just did the Cat Ladies for Kamala, and I do, West Coast Women for Kamala, and I did Asian Americans for Kamala. And then I'm going on Tuesday to a big event that's like a whole day of like making social media content. So this is a direct connection with her campaign. So I'm going to be working with the Harris Waltz campaign on actually sort of creative content for all platforms for social media, just to drive the message out there. We're only a few days from the election, essentially. It's about making this time count.
I love that. It's like, I just feel it in me. There's something going on that's so beautiful. Not just, it's about women and it's about LGBTQIA plus rights. It's just about humanity.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I'm just a childless cat lady. So I'm gonna show up. I was on the somehow on the gay TikTok. Tracy Ellis Ross showed up with her Oprah thing. And she said, being a person without children, she said that there have been stepmothers and godmothers and whatever that don't have children and are showing up for society or something like that, that are mothering. And I feel like
Yeah,
you're mothering the world.
absolutely. Always. And it's like also it's just so insulting to think that we're being told that we only matter because of our uteruses. Like it's like a really crazy thought. Like I don't understand anybody who would imagine that was okay to say or even think.
So crazy. It's where we're heading. And girl, JD Vance looks like he's on hormones anyways.
I really do think he's a Democratic plant in order to make the Trump campaign fail. I think that there's people that are plants, like Laura Loomer, I think is a plant because she's really doing so much damage to the Trump campaign that I think it's purposeful. But yeah, he's so bad, she's so bad. It's all bad.
What are the things on the ballot that you're really concerned with?
Reproductive rights. That's my main concern. My main concern is whether or not women are going to be able to have access to their own bodies in abortion care. And, these rights are really, really important and they've already been taken away. So this is like my main issue.
Did you see the young girl that's showing up and just talking about like having had to have an abortion at like 12
Mm-hmm.
and being molested by her stepdad? Like there is such power in that.
Yeah,
Like
so much power.
bravery. And she's so brave.
I mean, it's
I was like,
horrible that she had to deal with that, but like
yes.
the
Oh,
fact that she found her strength to go and tell her story and to help people understand that we need the right to our own bodies.
it's inspiring, it's open, it's vulnerable. I just look at her and go, wow.
Yeah, it's
Like
really cool.
it's really cool. Now, I was just thinking about something when we were talking about the gay pride. You and I walked in the resist march
Mm-hmm.
and we were walking behind Dykes on bikes or with bikes?
Yeah, Dykes on bikes. Dykes on
Dykes on
bikes.
We were walking down Fairfax and all of a sudden we heard, "Do you believe?" And we heard
Yeah.
there and we were turning into WeHo and we got to the end and you got up to do some stand up. And one of the things you said is, and I love this, is that when we were turning the corner, you heard the battle cry of our people and you knew we were heading in the right direction.
Yeah. It's the gay national anthem. Whenever you hear, "Do you believe in life after love?" That's when you know you're safe. You're
You're
like,
safe. You're safe.
could you imagine if that really was the national anthem? That would be like the best.
So good. If
Do
you
you
could name three
believe in
others,
life after love?
did you see Chapel Roan on her acceptance speech
Mhm.
and just the inclusivity of it all and the beauty of it all and
She's
the
great.
drag of it all?
She's amazing.
She's gonna help the world, honey.
Yeah, I love her. I love
So,
her music.
so good. Inspiring. She's all
Hmm.
over my gay TikTok, and I
Yeah,
welcome it.
she's really special.
And just so gay.
Yeah.
And we need that right now.
Hmm.
We need that. We need that drag and that gayness and that
Hmm.
inclusivity. And it's beautiful. It's
Hmm.
just the first word I thought of when she was making her speech. I'm shaking, is that kids are going to hear this and the
Hmm.
inclusivity and all across the red states.
That's what it's about. It's like kids are going to hear it. That's why it's so important to live very publicly as a gay adult, to live very proudly and really demanding your rights, demanding your space and taking that space. It's really important because kids are going to see it. Kids are going to hear it.
I love that. Say it
Mhm.
again.
Well, it's like, that's like you're always being witnessed by the younger generation. And we have to work twice as hard because the generation just above ours all died of AIDS. We have to work twice as hard because everybody pretty much 60s, 70s are gone, all the men. So it's a lot of work we have to do.
Flashlight. You're carrying the flashlight.
Yeah.
I'm going to do some rapid fire questions for you. Favorite musician and band?
There's two, Caroline Kingsbury and Rhett Madison. They're the country and rock and roll versions of the same kind of thing, which is queer women making this amazing music. So I think they're really both very special. I think Caroline Kingsbury will probably be the one that's going to be popping right after. She's very similar to Chapel Roan.
Oh,
And Rhett Madison, very similar to like Bobby Gentry, like old country. Really, really good.
first cassette or vinyl you ever bought?
The Go-Go's.
Okay.
Beauty and the Beat. And I love them still. They're friends of mine and I love them still. They're a great, great band. Always will be. They're amazing.
When I was in a sophomore in high school and I was a straight Mormon kid, I dressed up as a cheerleader for Halloween. I borrowed my friend's thing because that was when you could get in drag. And I kept the uniform and I kept it in my closet. And I would close the door and I had a little cassette tape and I had the Go-Go's. I would play them and make my own routine.
Oh,
No,
cute.
nothing in the outfit. And I remember it. And I was like, that I was
So
so
cute.
like in my room at 14 years old,
I
just
love
playing
it.
Roscoe. Vacation
I
all
love it.
it
Yeah.
was so funny.
I
Yeah.
love them.
I think my first vinyl was My Sharona. And
Oh, I
then,
like that.
yeah. And I think my real first cassette, maybe that I remember, like I got the Go-Go's, but the one that I just wore out, I think was Pat Benatar.
Oh, I love her. Yeah. Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. First comedy show.
Our first comedy show was at the Other Cafe with my friend Sam Rockwell, who's a very famous actor. We were a comedy duo. We were young teenagers. We were great. We did great. We killed. A really special night. He ended up staying as an actor. He's a very famous actor now, of course, with Academy Awards and everything. I stayed with stand-up comedy. But yeah, we were like 14.
Who else came out of that time?
Aisha Tyler was in my class at school. So we were all tight. The other people in my sort of crew of people, like there's tons of people like Kathy Griffin, Janine Garofalo. We were all doing comedy at the same time.
Favorite comedian?
Joan Rivers, always.
I knew that was coming.
She's the best. She was always the best, and I'm still the best.
Her and Phyllis Dillard.
Yeah, so great.
Favorite movie?
Velvet Goldmine.
Ooh.
I love that movie.
Who inspires you?
I'm really inspired by, I think, everyone, like I'm inspired by all sorts of people all the time, but I'm mostly inspired by people like who just like live and do their thing, like they just like live and let live or let die or whatever. So I love an older rock star. Like I love a Bonnie Raitt. I love an Etta James. I love an Ella Fitzgerald. I love anybody who sort of ages in rock. To me, like I love Tina Turner. Like the aging in rock, I think is really fabulous.
Who's your first call when things go sideways?
Well, I usually call you or I'll call Aunt. I used to call my friend Jerry, my sister, she died. in 2018. So I can't call her, but I think about her a lot. I think about her a lot, actually. She was really the best. She would have loved Chapel Roan. She looks like that, actually. She had like this crazy long red hair that was all over the place. I wish she was here. She would have loved that.
What are you watching on TV right now?
I'm watching Evil Lives Here, which is a really good series on Max or ID on Max. It's all interviews and sort of reconstructions or recollections of people who lived with like terrible people. It could be like a cult leader or a serial killer or all sorts. There's a lot of family annihilators. If I think about true crime, that's the one sort of genre of criminal that really makes me freaked out is a family annihilator, which is usually the dad that kills a whole family. That's like a really scary kind of perpetrator out there. So it's all like family annihilators. And I think it's a really interesting, really well done series. So there's like 16 seasons of it. And there's like 15 episodes in each season and also lots of spin-off series from it.
Favorite place to visit in the US?
I love Provincetown. I haven't been for quite some time since before the pandemic, which is too bad because I usually go every year, but I really love it. I love the sea. I love drag. That's both things in there. I love riding bicycles, which I do there.
Days in ocean, honey.
Yeah.
Favorite place outside of the US?
I really love London. I think London is really cool. There's not that much to do, really, but I just love the way it looks and I love the way people talk. And I think it's just cool. I'm kind of an Anglophile, which is weird, but yeah, I love London. Hi, is that Carmen or Steve?
Carmen.
Hi, baby.
Steve's over there.
Hi, Carmen.
Yeah, I saw one of yours walk behind you.
Yeah.
Cat ladies. Oh,
yeah.
Cat ladies.
That was Sacre-Cœur. She's like on a tear. She's like been running, like shooting she's had zoomies all morning because she threw up this morning and now she's got zoomies. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, no. If you could say something to your 20-something self that you know now, what would you say?
That everything is going to be okay. Better than okay. It's always okay. And that's the thing that's like the most important lesson. It's always okay. And it really is.
I'm going to talk about sobriety for a second, or just being sober. And what would you say to someone out there struggling right now?
Well, stop fighting. There's no reason to struggle. The fight is too big for anybody to fight against alcohol and drug addiction or any addiction. Yeah. It's too much to handle. So it's best to just get into recovery. It's best to just get into a place of like, I'm not fighting this anymore. I'm going to give in. And by giving in doesn't mean to go and do more. It means get out.
I'm one bad decision away from being the queen in the middle of the street trying to make 5 outfits out of one t-shirt. And it is my truth. It's like I just get up and I try to make one good decision each day not to drink or use. And that's it.
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
We've put together time. That's beautiful. We get to give each other cakes every year. We're growing into our light together. And I don't know, I feel like, I came out of the darkness and hopefully I will be smart enough to stay out of the darkness.
Yeah.
Because I can give myself so many reasons, the state of the world, this or that. But
there's no reason to do it. There's no reason to give in to addiction. There's no reason. I mean, you have to just make it the most important thing. It always is.
I sit shotgun with you a lot and you're just such, in my life, an angel. And so I thank you for that.
Thank you. You're an angel.
This crazy thing that I
love it.
I'll try
it's
it.
Great. Yeah, I think it's great. And I think you're going to get a lot of wonderful support. You have so many people who got to interview. So that's going to be great. I look forward to seeing all the interviews.
It is showing up and like some vintage club kid without all the, yes, I do have an outfit on, but you know what I mean? Showing up as my old lady self, I
like it.
It's good.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Hey, you're gay. Aging is a privilege.